Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. And it is a beautiful Monday morning in Pensacola, Florida. You've stepped into the hottest spot in town, and yes, that is Sunshine's Corner, as I refresh your memory every single day when you want to talk about what? Those difficult conversations and feel safe about it. This is where you need to be. As I tell you every single day before I start anything, this is a show that we want you to be a part of. This is your information link. When it comes to knowing what's going on in and around our community, this is how we do it. We come together, and you know my philosophy, collectively, when we put all of our resources together, there is nothing that we can't do. And that is why, as we approach this very crucial time of the year here in 2024, and I'm talking about November the 5th, which is election 2024, I have got to do my very best to try to get people inspired, to educate them on the importance of going out casting their vote. And today I had to bring back a young man that
Well, thank you, Sunshine.
Now, look, see Jeff, now you got Dondre, yes, I messed your name up, I'm not going to do it today, okay? Yes. Dondre, thank you for coming back, because I see now that you've even moved up here, working more now with the Democratic Party.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm talking about. And yes, we had to bring back, Jeff made me laugh, but look, Jeff, thank you for getting up, being a part of this show today, because you are such a grand part of this community. You do so much work. Well, and you know what? Everybody needs to know, give him his flowers now, because I tell you, he's always doing something. But I wanted to have this differentiation in age today. We got the mature side over here, and then we got the young side over there, the growing up side, should I say. Because I want to hear, because like I said, this is a crucial time of this year. And when I keep saying crucial, I believe that from the heart, because this election means it's going to make our country needs to know that we got to make a strong decision now to make the right decision.
Right, absolutely.
Because what's about to happen now is going to not only affect the black and brown people, it's going to affect the white people too. And if we don't understand that, let me lend you my contact so you can see a little bit better. But first of all, I want to say to you, Jeff, you work with the Democratic Party, been working with the party, and they just showed me you were at oh God, you went everywhere. You were there talking with everybody with the Democratic Party at the convention and everything.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience to be a delegate.
Yeah.
And it's an honor. That isn't a role that's elected by Democrats in the 1st Congressional District. So there were 4 of us, and I appreciate everybody's confidence in me to go and represent them. When I signed up back in January, I knew it was going to be a really important election and convention. Well, little did I know what was going to happen on July 21st.
You got that right.
So we threw it in high gear. We had a lot of work to do beforehand, but I tell you, Sunshine, the convention was so amazing, so positive, so patriotic.
Yes.
It really showed that in this particular election, it's not about what your party affiliation may or may not be. It's about 2 distinct visions for our future. And if you want to go forward, or do you want to stay in chaos and hate?
Do you want to go backward? And
we're not going back.
And we're not going backward. We're not going back there anymore, my dear friends. And Dondre?
Yes, ma'am.
Look, you were talking something before, and I got it, because he has this little smile when he does it. But the fact of it is that what caused you to make that step to become a part of the party?
I feel like the youth does not understand what's happening. They have no idea what's going on.
Are you running into difficulties to try to educate them?
Initially I did, but becoming a member of the Escambia County Democratic Party, I believe they actually see a little light at the end of the tunnel now. So it's been a little, oh, well, I see you actually do know a little bit what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm actually a precinct captain 68.
Oh, really?
Yes, I got elected a couple weeks ago. So I actually know a little bit more than what they think.
Okay.
And I just want to give out more information.
Okay, then you keep saying I know a little bit more. So therefore, it took educating you to get you to be more involved.
Right.
So that you can also help those who are less educated in the areas where they need it.
Yes.
I keep focusing on the word educate, knowledge. That's what we got to do with all of the younger and some of the older too, I'm sorry. I just got to be as transparent as possible. But the fact of it is, with you doing that, what type questions are you running into from people in your peer, as far as which side or which way they want to sway?
I get often, why does it matter? Why does it matter? And that's the craziest question to me. I'm like, it's your life, it's your future. And they're like, no, they don't know
Chills
that.
went through me just then, you know.
They don't have any idea what is happening. So it's like I just sit down and I actually have to regroup sometimes and go back, because some of these questions I can't answer.
Right.
But I know somebody who can. And that's the part of that I am now that I like. I can actually call someone. I could call Derek. I could call Jeff. I could call someone and be like, hey, this and this is going down. What do you know about that? Oh, actually, Dre, this is actually happening. Okay, thank you for that information, Jeff. Now I can actually properly educate this person on this matter.
Come on, you got it together. I mean, he did that. Now, Jeff, how does that make you feel? Because you kind of smile when
it goes both ways.
Yes.
Because I've got a lot to learn from him. So it does take everybody. Everyone has their circle.
Right.
And the things that are most important to folks in that circle. And he did mention one thing is sometimes people aren't trying to decide how they're going to vote, is if they're even going to go. And that's something that's just our duty and a right we have as Americans. Currently it's a right.
Exactly.
But we have female family members with less rights than their grandmother had.
You're right.
There's just a lot on the table, and I really hope people will educate themselves. Going back to what you said, what is the position of a candidate on maintaining Social Security as we know it?
Yeah.
Seniors need to vote in their own best interest.
That's right.
Education. Do you want to dismantle Department of Education as projected in Project 2025?
Isn't that? That's right.
Do you want to finally see the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed?
Thank you.
So there are just a lot of things that people need to educate and connect the dots.
Most certainly. Do you think some people are afraid to get in that good trouble that John Lewis talked about? So, I mean, if you want to get in good trouble, get out there and fight for the good trouble. Stay in the good trouble.
You got to.
You got to, because if you're not willing to fight for the good trouble,
there's just too much on the line. And and people say, well, my vote doesn't count. Top of the ticket is way up there. Well, you also got city council races.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. State
house. So, it's just not this way far away.
That's
maybe
right.
Doesn't impact me. It's what impacts you every day. Your local school board, your local city council, your local county commission, and these really do.
Thank you.
Have an impact. I mean, even potholes.
Yes.
You have a vested interest to speak your voice, whatever you decide to choose. This is your right, and it needs to be exercised.
No doubt about it. You got excited when he said that.
Yes, that's why actually I wanted to give you guys this hood voter guide. I actually brought both of you guys on.
Thank you.
Oh, sweet. Oh, look at this. Thank you.
And basically what this is breaks it down
says
for.
The hood voter guide.
Yes, the hood voter guide, specifically gauging towards the youth. Tell me that doesn't grasp your attention.
You got mine.
Yeah, this is great.
And it actually breaks down all the way down to, your city.
You put this together?
Yes, Life is Hell, a couple Life is Hell partnered with Black Voters Matter, and we came together and made this.
Now that is, who titled it?
Actually, Haley Morissette.
Oh God, Haley.
Haley Morissette.
That's my girl. I tell you, I am so pleased with you, man. Come on, I'm seeing what I see. You're probably running for office here soon. Stick with Jeff.
I've been thinking about it. It's something down the road I've been thinking about.
Well, you can do that, and that's a good thing. Now, you also said something before we got. I can't get over this. I love the title, the hood voter. I mean, that is really good. But what I'm saying is to you, when you're out there and you're talking with those people in your peer, and when they see they want to lean to the left or lean to the right, more so now you're saying they're leaning over toward Trump. What is it that they're saying why they're leaning toward Trump?
It's been they're bought, I believe.
You say they're what? They're bought?
They're bought. The youth is bought. All you have to do with the youth is just show them a certain amount. Not all the youth, but most of the youth. You have to just show them a certain something, a little bit of gold, I should say, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
and then they will go.
Are you talking about what happened back here when he was in office with the
Yes.
funding that he sent us? That you got to pay back tax on it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They don't understand the magnitude of what's going on right now and why things happen the way they happen. And that's what I'm trying to educate them on. They don't even know that they have to pay things back. They don't even know such a thing like taxes. Like those little things they're not educated on, and they don't know that these things are, oh, why my job is this, or why these houses are getting tore down, why this community center. They don't know that they don't know why these things are happening. It's because of who you elected.
Exactly. We have what, 30, how many days we said? 34? 33, 34 days?
Right in there.
Did you hear that? 33 to 34 days before we have to go out and make this decision. And I tell you, it is so important. I'm not, and I clarify this every single day. I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for. That is your right. It's not my business who you vote for. That is not my business, and my business is not yours who I vote for. but the fact, what I'm saying to you is this, though. I ask you every single day to go out, learn, educate yourself on the people that are running.
That's exactly right, and it is education, and you need to ask yourself and do research. It takes a little time, but somebody was telling me the other day, if you are very concerned about the environment, you need to find out which candidates support the environment and vote for them.
Exactly.
If you are concerned about voting rights, who's moving that forward? If you're concerned about LGBTQ rights,
that's right.
Who's behind it? So people don't vote in their own best interest.
Exactly.
But what they need to look at is what candidate is focused on making rent more affordable. That's something that impacts everybody. What about affordable child care? People complain about nobody wants to work. Well, maybe they can't afford child care. And people do want to work, and the job creation numbers are off the chain, and don't let anybody tell you that they're not.
Yes, they are.
And the inflation is down. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. But we need to look at healthcare cost.
Oh, yes.
Capping insulin was just a start. We can move forward. And like I mentioned, Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, those have real, impact. And so we want to provide an economy, an opportunity economy, where everybody not only gets by, but they get better. And people need to vote in their family's best interest. I agree. That's their choice as to which vision.
That's right.
The happy forward one or the dark scary one. But hey, whichever world you want to live in.
That's right.
But they need to do their homework.
Exactly. You are so right. And I don't know about you, but I'll say this, and I'll say this boldly. I am so sick of all the rhetoric. I'm so sick of all the talk. I'm so sick of all the name calling that takes you back to a child that's in elementary school. How it sounds like everything is so, well, you're just a bad child. I'm so sick of that.
Well, it also, and you mentioned education, and I mentioned education a while ago. My hat goes off to our public school teachers.
Yes.
They have, you talk about multitasking and wearing a million hats. Can you imagine having kids in your class early as, first, second grade, come in using absolutely foul, obnoxious, bullying language.
Exactly.
And when they correct them, well, that's what I saw so-and-so say on TV last night.
Exactly.
Come on.
Really?
We have to be leaders and set an example for civility, decency. Character does matter.
Yes, it does.
And so we've got an obligation to the young people to not only help educate them, because things have changed, as he mentioned earlier, in public schools about what they can even teach.
That's right.
So whether it's teaching some of the history that got us where we are in civil rights, so we all have an obligation to vote in an educated manner, but also to educate those who may not or new,
who's lacking in that area. Let's just be good and transparent. Who's lacking in that area.
And that falls to all of us.
That's all of us.
I like how you said obligation. A lot of people like to say it's not their job. But if we're going to grow as a community, we got to come together as a community.
You're singing my song. I tell you, listen, everybody, we're having a wonderful conversation. I want you to be a part of it. 850-432-7768. Dondre.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course, we've got my good friend Jeff Nall. And I want you to be a part of this conversation today. We'll be back with more on just how important it is for these 30 some odd days that we have before we make a decision that's going to affect your life, right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
I vote because my mother voted. She was 40 years old, and I was 20 when she first voted. She said, Mamie Lee, take me to the registration office or wherever I need to go so that I can register to vote. So I vote for that reason, and I want everybody else to vote. Don't just talk, you gotta walk it like you talk it, and when you walk it, you are voting. So vote. I'm Mamie Webb Hickson, Director of the Writing Lab at the University of West Florida. Just vote.
Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram, or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town, and you know exactly where you are. You've checked into the hot spot. Now, I encourage you every single day. Now, if you have questions, if there are points that you would like to make, I encourage you to do so. 850-432-7768. That's the number you can call or text if you would like to get into this conversation. I always invite you because I believe so many other, when you put a lot of brain power together, you come up with a great answer. So therefore, if I include the community, because this affects the community, and they're going to be hearing more and more and more of this. The closer we get, I'm going to do even more to bring it so that you will see the importance of being heard. Now, you were talking about the dates. Okay, it's Monday, October the 7th, going to be next Monday, right?
Right. Next Monday, October the 7th, is the last day to register to vote.
Right.
So if you want to check your registration, just to make sure that sometimes people fall off for crazy reasons, call the Supervisor of Elections office. Say, I just want to confirm my registration is 100%
That's right.
good to go. The phone number for the Escambia County Supervisor of Elections is 850-595-3900, and their website is escambiavotes.gov. So that's the first date you need to remember, is October 7th. Now, in Santa Rosa County, to our friends over there, that phone number is 850-983-1900, and their website is votesantarosa.gov.
Exactly.
I called both of these this morning to ask, when do vote-by-mail ballots start going out?
Okay.
Escambia said they're going out today or tomorrow. Santa Rosa said they went out Friday.
Oh, really?
So ballots are on their way if you have already signed up to vote by mail. You have until Thursday, October the 24th to sign up for vote by mail, but I would do it by phone, and I would do it as quickly as possible.
Okay, so hold on, Jeff. Now, I was watching a news report the other night where there were some people who are elderly that are confined to the homes, and they were running into problems getting that done. So you're saying that we can have them call the Supervisor of Elections office, and that will get it expedited quickly to them so they can get it mailed in?
Yes.
Can a person drop off a person's vote by mail?
There are changes to that, and it has to be immediate households and is severely limited. For example, at a nursing home facility. You couldn't just
pick up a handful and go.
3 or 4 rooms, you know. You could take your spouse's ballot.
Okay.
You know, but again, I don't want to get into all that. If they have specific questions, I would ask the supervisor of elections office to make sure that they are trusting that they heard it from the most credible source. But yeah, I would go ahead and request a vote by mail ballot. You know, a lot of people say, well, I really like to go. Well, you can still go. It's an insurance policy. I mean, look at the storms that we're dealing with right now.
God, yes.
What if you're determined, you know, on November 5th, you're going to be in line, and we have a
major hurricane.
We have a hurricane. We'll vote 2 weeks early, and it's done.
Exactly.
Which leads me right into early voting. There are 10 locations in Escambia County where you can go and vote early, and that starts Monday, October 21st, and runs through Saturday, November 2nd.
Okay.
And in Santa Rosa County, there's 6 locations.
Okay.
So early voting starts October 21st. Vote by mail, those ballots are heading to the homes.
So that you should be getting it sometime this week, as a matter of fact.
And also, if the rolls were purged for vote by mail at the end of the year, so if someone thinks if they thought they signed up for vote by mail and they didn't get a primary ballot by mail, that probably means they fell off the vote by mail roll.
Right.
Call the supervisor of elections for any questions. They both have really qualified staff, very helpful. Like I said, my call this morning to both of them was less than 2 minutes to confirm the day that the ballots went out.
No doubt.
So get folks registered and
get those
encourage
ballots.
them. They need to register themselves.
That's
It's
right.
not third-party registration. They need to register themselves, but they can do that on the supervisor of elections website. Hang on to those 2 numbers. It says Escambia County 850-595-3900 and Santa Rosa 850-983-1900.
That's exactly right. Now I'm looking at you as you see, and I see when he would say certain things, your face would do a different thing. Okay, he was no. I think he was listening to the things that you were talking about. It was resonating with him because your eyes would go up or that way. But what? Okay, when you run into a lot of the younger people registered, are they?
A lot of people are registered. It's the voting portion that's sticking them in the head. It's like, hey, I want to vote, but I don't think I should vote because it doesn't matter. And I'm like, it does.
Absolutely. So do they know anything about Vice President Harris? Do they know anything about the former President Trump?
No.
They're just going on
what they see on social media. For the most part.
Really?
Now you have different outlets. I've seen various events, a couple events that we've thrown, especially Escambia County Democratic Party. I've seen the Republican Party do a couple things too as well. But outside of that, we don't have too many outlets. That's why I've been kind of hitting the streets.
Well, let me say this for you then. Dr. Greer Hall is going to be contacting you because I've already sent her your number.
Oh, thank you.
Because this weekend there's going to be a vote vax.
Oh yes, she actually did already contact me.
Okay, it's going to be a vote vax that's going on this weekend from 9 until 1. It's going to be there at St. John Divine at 620 West Jordan Street. Go by there with Pastor Joseph Marshall. They're going to have it all there to get people educated. Going to get them, make sure they're not sick, so they can't. In case they're sick and they can't go, they can get your vaccination all as well. But that's coming up this weekend, and they're going to be trying to do the same thing because we need to go to the north, the south, the east, and the west to make sure that everybody is ready for this upcoming election. Now, when you say about the younger generation that there's no care there, but do they understand? I mean, do they go out and buy groceries themselves?
Yes.
Do they see how high the prices are? You go in the store and spend $100, you got a bag in your hand? I mean, but these things are so important. Do they understand that this social media thing here, all of that stuff there is not factual?
To the most part.
Really? But they don't care?
And that's the issue.
That they don't care.
I like to, when I do like the peace cipher, which I have another one October 12th, I like to, trick the youth. I bring them in, make them feel like it's a party, and I kind of hit them with the information.
Okay, good job.
We're going to this and this and this, and they're like, well, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, this is actively going on right now. Like, prime example, Project 25, they had no idea about that. No idea.
Really? Well, Jeff, how are we going to reach also? Now, you know, there's some people who still, even our peer, they're not as aware about Project 25. They just think that that's not going to affect me. Wrong.
It affects everyone.
It affects everyone. You know, in 920-page document, you know, that's pretty long. But there's some pretty manageable,
yes.
You know, summations in bite-sized pieces.
I believe Jerry McIntosh did that. I think he's got already snipped out to help you. But what we're trying to do, that people need to educate themselves on Project 2025 as well.
Well, you know, as they say about movies, they say the sequel is never as good as the first one.
Exactly.
In this case, we know because we read the script.
Yes,
Project 2025 is the script
I love it.
of what a second Trump presidency would look like.
Exactly.
So when people tell you what they're going to do, believe them, because it's out there.
That's right.
Some people may like some of those strategies, you know, but like, you know, right here now, I was thinking about this yesterday. We just had a major hurricane, and there's more out there. And one of the agencies that is talked about as possibly being dismantled in that Project 2025 is the NOAA, the weather.
That's right.
I mean, that's a Florida.
Wipe us off the coast.
You know, public education, Department of Justice, it's democracy. And that's what I go back to before. Everybody has a right to their beliefs and party affiliation or not having a party affiliation. I think this go around, it's about democracy. And a vote for Vice President Harris is not necessarily a vote for a Democrat, it's a vote for democracy.
Exactly.
It's a patriotic vote.
You know, you said a mouthful there. Forget that party she's in. Vote for a person who wants change to make it better for everybody. It's all about democracy with us in this United States. It's all about the country now. So we got to forget this thing, take the I out of the equation and think about us. And I think that will be a better solution for everybody. And Dondre, you smiled when he said, I watch his face, right? Because that gives me think, because I can see the excitement. But when it comes to when you were talking about Project 2025, now I like what you said. You say you got to fool them to get them there. What do you call it?
I trick them.
Yeah. Okay.
I tell them though.
Let me trick you, baby.
I'm very,
come out, we're gonna have a party.
I'm very transparent. Like the Peace Cipher, we do. This is the 3rd annual Peace Cipher, and what we do is we have a. You know, it's basically a rap concert cipher, but it's no profanity, no alcohol,
good job,
no smoking.
Good job.
So they just show up and drink lemonade and get information.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, baby. You want me to buy you some lemonade? I got you.
You know, it's everybody's favorite thing, free. It's free food.
Exactly.
Free entertainment. So that what brings them in initially, and then sometimes Channel 3 News comes out. They came out the last 2 years. Hopefully they come out this year.
You don't have to worry about them, baby. You got the best spot in town right here.
Yeah,
we're on the corner.
Yeah,
you're on the corner, baby, and we hit everything that comes through the corner.
Yeah. So it's just it's a work in progress, but it's definitely working. It's just a slow and steady, but you know that wins the race most of the time. So.
Good job. I'm testing. I mean, I'm asking this. I'm seeing where his heart is. You know.
Oh
and
yeah,
he's
great.
on it.
He's
you are very much so on it, and that is a good thing. Please continue to do that. When it comes to making a difference right here in Pensacola, and I think that what we are seeing here, because I found out, and I have to go back because I will say this to our viewers today: you're going to be hearing this repetition for the next 38 some odd days. You're going to hear a lot of this over and over because I've learned in media, you got to hear it 10 times before it sticks up here. So you're going to be hearing a lot of this going over and over, so to make sure that you get it. Because we're not just talking this because we like to talk. We're telling you facts. These are things that we have gone out to find the facts on what's going to be beneficial for all of us in this country. So I say to you, even if you're in the middle, if you have not made up your mind, do your research. You got 34 days, 33 days, whatever. You got time to really make up your mind. Think about this, and the fact of it is, I hear everybody in the country, Jeff, they're complaining about the high prices, the high insurance on your home, the things that's trying to be taken away with the Medicare, the Medicaid, the education that's being taken out of school, so our kids will not know their history, so especially on our black and brown people. But what am I saying to you today? If we allow this, what else is going to come? And he's not there yet. What else is going to come that we can't just go ahead and fight this battle now to make that decision that we don't have to go back and redo what has already been done?
That's exactly right. You know, we don't need to go back. We're not. We don't have to. I think people need to. I mentioned earlier. You know, vote in their own best interest. Look at your family. If I was someone Dondre's age, does owning a home in the near future part of my goals? Well, then I need to figure out who's going to be supporting affordable housing for you and rent, and that's not only at the top of the ticket. That's in your local community.
Exactly.
You know, if you have young daughters, you know, how does some of this rolling back of rights affect the females in your family?
Exactly.
Do you have elders? Do you have a mother or grandmother or grandfather living with you who's barely being able to afford their medicines?
Come on.
So we all have different families, but we can figure out what's important to my family, your family, and your family.
Exactly.
And make a little list of those, and then go do your homework based on that.
Exactly. And stop. You don't have to take what we're saying. Find out for yourself. Prove it.
Please do.
Prove me wrong. Is what I'm saying. Prove me wrong. Look, we're going to come back and talk to you more because I get so excited about this. And truly, I want you to be a part. I can see everybody that's listening, but I want to make sure it is really being comprehended what we're trying to say to you. Sometimes we can hear things and it just goes in one ear and come out the other. But please make sure that you are really comprehending what we're talking about. We'll be back with more right here with Dondre and, of course, Jeff Nall on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if auto owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
I am going to vote. I vote because I want my voice heard. For many years, people like me were silenced. Women were silenced. So I vote to make sure that my voice will be heard. I'm Dr. Yvonne Capehart, and I encourage you to just vote.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m., hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. Had to get a cup of Joe to get me started off today. But listen to this. I say this because I want you to understand. Sometimes you may be fearing some of the things that you want to ask, but you're afraid to ask the question because you don't want nobody to hear just what you're saying out loud. You know, but you're saying it on the inside. If it's something that concerns you, don't be afraid. I tell anybody the only crazy question that you can ever ask is the one that's not asked. When you hold it on the inside and you say, oops, if only I had known, I thought I knew. That's the way we have to get that out of our heads. And I get people every single day, they will inbox me. they'll ask things. Don't be shy. If you don't want to talk, text. You can text me at that number as well, right there on the screen, 850-432-7768. But the fact of it is, I believe the more we talk about an issue, the more we are able to express our feelings about something. This is how we can make a change. And I learned this from way back in 2012, I believe he said, change doesn't feel good, but it's so necessary. And that's what we got to learn to do here. And to commit with that change, as you do when you say you trick them out there. I mean, that's a good philosophy, how you do it. You're tricking them out there to get them to do what's right. And to commend a young man as you, 25, 26 years old, right?
Yes,
that you're out there fighting for the rights of everybody. You're not just doing it for the young people, because it's going to affect everybody, young, old, and in the middle. And that's what it takes. If you want to live in this country and be free, not dictated to, because that's what's trying to be done. Facts are facts. I think we got to stop being afraid to say what's really there and let it out, and then you'll see that we know what we're fighting up against. Some people like to paint a pretty picture to say one thing when it's totally the opposite. This man wants to take away all of our rights. He wants it to be totally dictatorship. Want to take about everything that's been taken away. You see what the government here locally is doing in Florida, even about education. What's happening here, you see that. So what do you think, if you can think back and get a little bit more power, what am I going to try to do because I'm falling behind that? Who would want to take away that from us if we're going to let them take it? That's what's going to happen if you don't vote. Am I correct or am I wrong?
You're absolutely correct. You know, and you mentioned the schools, and he's mentioned schools. I mentioned public education. You know, and if there are children in your family, or you expect there to be children in your family, what type of school environment do you want them to be in?
Exactly.
Do you want them to be in one where they learn about the history, you know, of populations that the history is being removed?
Exactly.
Do you want them to feel included and feel confident to go to school so that they can get that education that's going to help them to succeed in a opportunity economy?
I agree.
You know, just really, like he was saying when I first met him, you know, people thinking, well, grandfather took care of all this, you know, we're good, you know. No, you're not good.
You're not good.
And your family that you're going to have is
not
going to be good for sure.
Not at all.
And you know, I just keep going back to find out what's most important to your family and do your homework.
I asked that question
whatever
again.
conclusion you come to, that's on you.
Exactly.
But you owe it to yourself, and we need to recognize that we're all intelligent enough to process information and to go an extra step and do some homework.
No doubt about it.
And that's what it's going to come down to.
Most certainly.
People need to do it.
Do it. We got a phone call. Let's see who's going to ask us a question this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, I had a question to the young black gentleman. It's in reference to a conversation that was being had around the black males that are leaning more towards voting for Donald Trump. And I just wanted to make sure, because this is coming from Fox. I don't really call Fox News. I call it Fox Entertainment. But
for real,
they're basically stating that young black men are making headway of voting for Donald Trump. And since he represents that age, I'd like to know from him in his own testimony, is that something that is true? And I just wanted to hear from someone from Florida to see if that's something that is being circulated as another entertainment or something that is something as a concern.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we're going to let him answer that question. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. It's actually happening that way. It's more so kind of like a 50-50 split from what I've seen, but mostly it's been it's entertainment, really. Trump is more entertaining to the youth. I just, unfortunately, that's the case. And it's been a fight to educate them on the actual issues, the actual laws, and the actual things that are going on. Prime example, Project 25. I always say just 25. The youth, it's not the black males specifically, it's more so a collective of all of the youth.
Male and female?
Male and female.
Wow.
The youth, I saw a video of a little black girl the other day basically saying that they don't really know much about the vice president, but they know about Trump. And I think that's the issue. I think we just need to keep educating them more, because once they actually learn what is actually going on, they get a whole different perspective.
Am I hearing what you're saying? That they are saying because they see all this rhetoric on TV?
Yes.
They see all this craziness that's on social media?
Yes.
Is that what's kept in there because they're saying they know that?
Yes.
That's what they're saying? We got a lot of education to do.
Yes.
I mean, do you hear what I'm saying, caller? I mean, if they're saying this to you, because they see, but can't they see this as lies?
The attention span, not to talk about my age group, but
tell the truth, baby.
mostly is true. The attention span of use is about 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds.
What?
5 to 10 seconds and you lost.
I think so too, sir. I really think so too.
It's 5 to 10 seconds and you lose
know that some individuals from this generation do get a lot of their information from their social media and from their phones. I don't think they actually look at the actual news feeds. And again, as I stated, there's difference between news and entertainment.
Exactly.
And right now, most of this is about entertainment.
Entertainment.
And sometimes it's just common sense. If you have a person who gets up here and basically tells you that they can relate due to tennis shoes and due to that they have a mug shot, and that's considered a representation of a group of people, that to me is a disconnect.
That to me is an insult to my intelligence.
It's disrespectful.
Disrespectful all the way. I mean,
correct. And it's like it's like we lowered our standards. And that's just another thing that has to be taught, that you are not what they say you are.
Absolutely.
Based upon what this individual is trying to put out there, that he can relate to you because of tennis shoes and because of a mugshot. That to me is ridiculous, embarrassing.
I agree with you 100%. I agree. That also says that he already has you can see what category he puts on the black people of color.
Absolutely.
Because if you're going to say tennis shoes, so why are you saying that? Why won't you say education? But you're going to say tennis shoes, and the fact now that you are a felon of 34 counts.
It's clickbait. That's what.
And they're considered to be a person of being in.
Yes.
And that's to me is. But see, he's not the author of this. This been going on in the entertainment business.
Yes.
That's what I said, it's entertainment. But this is life now.
Exactly.
This is about people making decisions that's not going to affect just them, but the people who come behind them.
Absolutely.
And that's a selfish mindset that has been just categorically, overwhelmingly taken over. Not thinking about the next generation, but about what am I going to reach out and receive right now. And it's we need to really revamp and renew our mindsets on this stuff. This is amazing.
I agree. And again,
so I appreciate him giving me his input. That's good input. It needs to be addressed, and this is something that's very serious. That our youth is looking at this 50-50. That's something.
Amen. I agree. Thank you so much, caller. Very much.
Thank you
So much. That's very insightful. Thank you. And everybody, this is why we're asking you so you can get your conversation in as well at 850-432-7768, because he went even a little bit deeper than just the top part of the conversation because of the things that you said. And I have to say this because I want, and that is a target, should I say, pointed toward the people of color. When he says, let me get the tennis shoes, that you know what they're always trying to say that, but who buy those tennis shoes? When it says that, now this was a slap in the face. And this really causes my heart to jump when you say that now I can relate to you because I have a fella. Now I can relate to you because I've been arrested. Now that is an insult to every bit of my intelligence. And I tell you, black men, young black men need to wake up. If a man gonna tell me that the only way that I can relate to you is now because I'm locked up, but you hadn't been locked up. Why aren't you locked up? Don't get me started. I get excited because that's such an insult.
They want to lock up the youth's mind. If you lock up the youth mind, you'll control the future. It's been done years and years and years and years.
Well, then what we got to do, though, Jeff, what we got to do, Dondre, is this: we got to open up their minds, because see, I don't know what you think. If just because you see some of these lies, that people can clip that and put on social media and make it look just like what they want it to look like. But the fact of it is, when he said, like with the Fox News, that's not Fox News. Go look for the sources that are giving you the real deal. That's going to tell you the honest truth, so that we don't get caught up into this. Because if this, let's say if it's 50-50, what he's saying on with the youth who's going to vote for him, do you not know what's going to happen to you next year? You think because you're on social media that's going to make a change, that's going to make it easier for you to purchase your home? No, it's going to make it more difficult. Do you think when you decide to have children, that's going to be able to educate your children on what they need to know to keep them going forward? No, because they're trying to take it away as it is. People of color, we have got to realize and stand strong on your intelligence of who we are, and not allow the media to paint us as less as, when we already know the numbers point as that we already more of, if I should say so myself, because that's how it is. And Jeff, I'm not saying, I mean, it's just, it bothers me, and I love the fight that you're fighting. I want to hear more from the community. That young man made a great point. Call us up at 850-432-7768. It doesn't matter which one you think, and I want to hear from you as well, right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I had a lot of family growing up that voting was the key factor to life and what you want in your future. I have 4 children, and I want to make a difference for them in our future. We gotta vote. You gotta have a voice. I'm Samantha Williams, and I encourage you to just vote.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services is a one-stop shop, because you can come get your windshield replaced, and right behind that replacement at the same appointment, we will calibrate the cameras, and when you leave, everything's ready to go. There's no need to go to the dealership, or there's no need to come back for another appointment. We just take care of it at one time. We put the customer first, and we strive to do everything right the first time.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services, your one-stop shop with same-day service.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
My father told us he paid the cost to be the boss, which meant whatever he told you to do, you better do. So we were told you must vote. He would sit us down at a round table and go over the reasons why you needed to vote, why it was so important, that he fought for us to make sure that we could vote, and that we were to fight for ourselves and for his grandchildren.
My name is Jill Lewis-Daggs. I am the state committee woman for Okaloosa County, and I'm here to tell you,
just vote.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. And believe me, when I say hot, I'm getting hot more than one way. I mean, it's just the fact that we are here talking about conversations I think we need to have. And if you would like to be a part, please, I encourage you. This is what I try to put out, because this is a show that is pointed toward the community, the voice for the community, should I say. We're not going to, if you're whichever side you want to call, I don't mind. Let me hear from you as well. Because of the fact, let me hear why. Okay, change my thought process. Call up and let me hear from you. But the work that you're doing, I want to applaud you, Dondre, that you have taken on a mantle that has been given to you that's going to take a whole lot of work, consistency work, and you got a big job ahead of you. But I believe in you with everything I got, that you are going to make this and do well with it. You're going to be running for office soon.
We will, and we'll be
supporting you. You know, he's going to run
hopefully they let me run for something.
No, not they. We're going to vote you in, okay? You know, that's the good part about it. And when you're talking to those youth, don't stop, no matter what you may run into, because sometimes, and another thing just has popped in my head when I say this, even with the youth, I'm afraid this year, do you think it's going to be trouble with people trying to, on the day of election, when they're going to try to get you hacklers out there to try to stop you from going in? Because, you know, usually that happens sometimes.
Well, you know, voter suppression is nothing new.
Exactly.
You know, and we've seen instances in certain communities where there's been some vibe in the outside area that is meant to discourage, shall we say. But we just need to make sure that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
We need to encourage everybody and let them know how important it is to stand up, stay in line,
and do your thing.
Do their thing.
Listen, there's something else, Jeff. It just made me realize, and you got to realize this: if a person has to come in droves or try to be out there to stop you from casting your vote, ask yourself why. It's got to be something important they don't want to happen.
Exactly.
It is something they don't want to happen because they can see. They may not want to verbalize it, that they know what's happening, what we're trying to prevent. So therefore, if somebody's trying to take away something that's mine, you know.
And to take that and turn that into your own empowerment.
Exactly.
Because you're right. If it wasn't important, nobody would bother. Nobody would bother. Exactly. So, you know, it does go back to education. It goes back to the world in which you and your family want to live, not today, not tomorrow, but next week, next year, next decade. We want to go forward in a positive, unified manner.
Exactly.
And that's what's important. We can't go back.
Right.
It's not an option.
Exactly. We got another call. Let's see what we're going to find out here. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Jeff. How y'all doing today? And is it
Dondre?
What's the other guest name? Dondre. Good morning to each one of y'all. How y'all doing?
Great. Good morning.
I am so happy that y'all are out, continue to spread the word about what's going to happen with the future of this country, depending on which direction people choose to go, whether they choose to do something or not do something. And everybody just needs to be informed. I think that we need to do like a little Zoom, Facebook thing, so we can keep putting this information out there, especially for the young people, so they can be truly informed of what's happening.
Okay.
I actually am working on I didn't want to tell anybody yet, but I am working on a Zoom/block party. I don't want to say too much yet, but it's in the works. Just give me like a week or so
to
finalize everything.
This guy, he's good.
On it.
He's good. He's
on it. Look, you might be softly spoken, but when you speak loudly. I mean, think about it. I mean, you're already working it out so that we can get that on that Zoom call, so everybody can be on that call. I won't say anything because you're going to call and let me know, right? So you're going to send me a link so I can be on the call.
You know I'm going to call you.
Okay. I want to come to this party.
Yes, ma'am. You're going to be there.
All right now.
Absolutely.
But thank you, Eric. That's what we're talking about, to keep this word out there, to make sure that everybody's educated in the right way so they'll know what they're talking about. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Y'all have a blessed week.
All right, bye-bye.
You too.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
I tell you, when you're having a conversation that reaches so many things that should be reached, I wish this show sometimes was 2 hours because we can go through it so quickly, and we need so much more time, I think, to get the message out. That's why I'm going to be repetitious for the next 30 some odd days. Repetition works both ways, whether it's good or bad. So we're going to be repetitiously getting the word out to you. We didn't get to talk about the amendments very much, but you see, I want to invite tomorrow, you make sure you don't miss it.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are 6 amendments on the ballot in Florida. Some people are familiar with 1 or 2 of them. But there are 6, and that's
right.
something we need to be educated about. So that's something that's, you know, Florida-based. So going back to what I said in the very beginning, this is not only about voting for the President of the United States, which is hugely important and will chart our course for years and years to come, but there's also the school board, the city council,
everything,
the county commission, the things that impact how you get to work, your neighborhood. There's just a lot of things. There's a reason to vote up and down the ticket, and
no doubt.
Don't leave a box unchecked.
I tell you, because what I was about to say, because tomorrow it's going to be all about the amendments, because we've got Sarah is going to be here from, you smile, you know that's right. She's going to be the guest tomorrow, so you're going to learn all about those amendments, especially everybody one that's talking about 4 and 3. We're going to be talking about those as well. Our time is up. Can you believe that? But it's going so fast. But I want to say to you, thank you, Don. Make sure you continue to do what you do. Jeff, you're my friend. I've been doing it for a long time, and I know you could, because I'll have you back before the election, I guarantee.
We'll do it.
All righty. But everybody, we've got to go, but I want you to remember this in my heart, and I leave it the same way every single day. Why? Because I believe this deeply in my heart. Never, ever, 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 ever lose your focus. Do not lose your focus. If you keep God first in everything that you do, I guarantee you're going to be a total success. If you don't believe me, try it. So until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for another day of sunshine and information right here at your information network. Know that I do love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. And Dondre, don't you stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep it going. Jeff, thank you. Love you with a perfect kind of love. Always.
Likewise.
Until tomorrow. Bye for now. Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.